Hello, Daycarn here. Welcome back to Torment. Last episode, well, we stopped squabbling. So, let's talk to Ardris again. Hello again, my sister. I'm ready to give you the Meercaster. You need but ask. Oh, Algern. Hold a moment. You seem like a fair-minded person. The others here seem to defer to you, so let me ask, if the Changing God was here, right now, what would you say to him? What would you do to him? Ardris, I'll tell him what he has wrought in our persons. I'd ask him why he encourages strife, or I'd engage him in a discussion about morality. She smiles a little. But tell me, mortal man, what is it you truly want to say? Algern, I want justice. I don't know how to get it. Your creator, the Changing God, he was responsible for what happened in my village. Yeah, okay. Because I haven't actually talked to you. The right time never came up, and I'm telling you now. He looked down at his boots. Back in Orman, when I was an Aeon priest for my Eldia, I found a frame, a black metal piece. I was looking it over in my workshop, trying to figure out what to do with it. A traveller came through my town. She looked a lot like you, actually, though without the burn scar or the visible tattoo. If you're not the Changing God, then it was your creator in your body who told me to activate the frame. And how? Then she left. I didn't think of it at the time, but he scratches his arm. Well, I activated the frame. Black monsters spilled out, all tooth and claw, and I got knocked out. When I awoke, everyone was gone. No trace. The only thing that was different, the monsters scarred me. Their attacks left these tattoos all up and down my arms, a poison that whispers in my mind, a constant reminder that I failed everyone I ever loved. That was the Changing God gift to me. I loaded the frame, took it to Sargas Cliff. Orifang promised to help me. He found out he could fold it down, but that's as far as we ever got. Never ever figured out who made it or why. Again, and in the meantime, I've been looking for the Changing God to try and find out what he knows. Why did he have me activate the frame? What happened to my family? And if I don't like the answers, he smiles as grim and deadly, and his tattoos hum and hiss with power. I'll help you find the truth, Algern. Sure you will. She holds a hand to his face and he stills. Algern, what past is past. Do you want aid? Do you want answers? Because if you do, your companion here is the one who will guide you to them. If you let your rage blind you and poison you, you will never find the truth. Look to the future and, well, don't forget the past. Never that. Let the past guide you, but do not let it poison you, she steps back. Here's a gift of knowledge for you. One of the blessings, or the curse perhaps, is that a castoff, that is, as a castoff, we can unoccasionally find flashes of our creator's memories inside our bodies. Should you find the frame that was the cause of your miseries, our friend might be able to shake loose a memory from our sire. I don't guarantee its success, but she studies you for a moment. If this is the Changing God, the damage from the fall has done significant harm. Your best hope is to travel with her, and perhaps you can find the answers you seek. But I pray you find peace in your heart. As she speaks, you can feel the tide. You feel the tides gently roll off her, softening the walls of Algern's has constructed in his mind. Algern's opinion of you as approved. He looks skeptical. I'll try. No guarantee. That's all anyone can ask now. Do either of you have any other business with me? Yeah, I think it's time to move on. You are a thoughtful, able student, and I hope that you will remember what you've learned in the task I set you. Be gentle, Zeran. You are violating his mind. Be true to his path. Find what you need and return without causing him harm. You have a duty to preserve his life as he intended, and if at all possible. She presses the box into your hand. Tidal energy swirls around it, drawing you in like a maelstrom. You focus on it, opening your innermost eye, and you're torn from your body. Whee! Okay. When you first open your eyes, there's only a ruddy glow of frightening shapes and shadow around you. The air is hot and stifling. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're outside, but the sky is darkened by clouds of pitch, and ruddy glow comes from lava flow as they trundle down distant mountains into the volcanic fields all around you. Sharp towers pierce the sky, tapering like the bones of a ribcage. Indeed, they look like bones in every way, as does the ground beneath you. You appear to be standing on the spine of an enormous beast. The bottom of its jaw can be seen in the far distance, half buried beneath layers of cool lava. Most of the bone towers look identical, but one shines from the inside with an odd blue light. The top of the glowing tower has been snapped off, and what looks like a teleport hovers next to you. No, transport hovers next to you, next to its peak. It's your transport. You were sent here to find something. Twisted bridges connect the spine to volcanic fields around you. In one direction lie enormous formations of obsidian, arches, spires. A wall in the other direction, a narrow pass is carved into the mountain face. The field leading to the canyon is illuminated by hundreds of glowing lights. You know this body wasn't sent to find Mazov, but Adra said he'd appear. Perhaps following through the events will lead to him. Yeah, I'll perception this. Whew! You search through the tower. After tower, some of the chambers you come to are filled with piles of dead relics and broken ciphers, but none of them value. Finally, you come across something promising. You find a staff made of some prior world metal. It's cool to the touch, unusual given the extreme temperatures of the air itself, and the burn marks blacken out one end. Very likely this was used as a weapon. If it may work again, but probably only once. You take the staff with you. Yeah, let's try and remember. You are in the body of Zen Daywalker, a Jack who can speak with the dead. Indeed. Now that you remember that, you can feel the dead all around you. You can hear them. It takes a little effort to know the stories of those who died here. You may even be able to imbue some of your life force into the corpses. Serena's wearing a black, form-fitting suit that keeps the worst of the heat. He carries a whip and various necromantic ornaments. Zarin was on a task for someone called Chimera. He was sent here to find some kind of spear. Let's get to the obsidian formations. Crossing the volcanic plains, you arrive at the obsidian formations, massive structures of cooled, shining rock, leaping from the ground, curling into impossible shapes, and enormous black wall rings. Most of the formations rising 100 meters out of the ground in places. The obsidian formations are dark, quiet, and desolate. A hot wind blows from magma flows further off, but here nothing flows and nothing lives. In the distance, you can hear the spine and bone you can see spine and bone towers, and in the other direction, the plains stop at the sheer cliff face with mountain paths carved in between us. Let's explore. You search for anything remotely interesting, but the place is barren. As you are about to leave, a orange glow reflects on the rocks ahead. An enormous paw steps in your path, and the rest of the creature emerges. It's like a pillar of light with claws, 100 faces twisted in the body, emerging howling, then melting back into the curling fire. The creature is easily 3 meters wide and at least twice as tall. The word Gamor bubbles in your mind. You aim the gyre and the stick in the center of the drummer and press the button on the side. Thunder claps in the air and a scolding beam of light strikes one of the Gromon faces. The Gromon howls in pain. Its rage wasn't directed at you before, but now it is. It charges you. You try to fire the scare, but have to again. Run to the mountain pass. Let's add a piercing cry. It stays right on your tail the entire way, forcing you to sprint, gasping for breath in the hot air. You feel that the Gromon's rage like a hand pressing against your back. It presses hard, squeezing your mind. The Gromon's howl make the ground tremble. Suddenly, the pressure releases and the air turns burning cold. You risk a glance behind you and realize you are in the center of the plains leading to the mountain pass, surrounded by fire rites, and the Gromon grabs whites one at a time, tearing them into two, then tossing them aside. The rites rush forward together to defend themselves against the horrible beast. In their anger, you are forgotten and ignored. Yeah, let's carefully explore. With the rites ignoring you, you search the field. It's relatively easy. You find a kind of shield embedded in the molten rock, and you feel rather than see the strong presence of death here. Searching further, you find a copper sphere lying on the ground. Yeah. You see a group of people in tattered clothing marching through the pass and out the fields. They are terrified and having lost many of their numbers to the rites. You see two figures riding a small flying platform amongst the almost like a shield. Suddenly the platform teeters and the figures fall. You can see the spot where the shield fell, and though their bodies are no longer there, you can feel their presence very strongly. And there, a short distance away, you can see where one of the figures dropped what looks like a copper sphere. Get the shield. Rates don't bother you as you try to pry the shield from the ground, but after a few minutes of tugging and digging, you realize it's impossible. The rock has cooled and melted and cooled again several times around the device. It's not going anywhere. Get the sphere. The right's attention. It's easy for you to slip and grab the sphere. None of the creatures notice you. Go back to the formations. Return to the spine. Let's go to the mountain pass. You're on volcanic plains in front of the mountain pass. The Gromon and 5 rites are still fighting a terrible battle. The rites have surrounded the Gromon now, and they seem to be intent on destroying it, but the creature is very strong and cornered. It could be a long fight. Yeah, let's use it. Though there are no bodies on the surface, you can feel the dead beneath the rock, preserved by magma that has flowed over the spot for centuries. One is a middle-aged woman named Amma, and the other is a girl, but she is strangely silent. Even with your strange powers, there is nothing there to speak with. Peace, says Amma. Is it better? Better, yes. Better oblivion. Who are you? Amma? The disembodied voice sounds like it's calling Amma rather than naming her. No, not Amma. Shelled, cast away, eaten. Alive and eaten again. Not Amma. Food for rights. What happened to you? Buried to death. Before that lived. Before that died. Before that lived. So many cycles, so many deaths. The air shivers. Her tone drops dangerously. Before that, someone else awoke and remembered. I fight a girl. Urlimion. Though you cannot see Amma, her presence moves through you. You turn your head. You see the field in the distance. What she is talking about. The Uriel, a sphere of banished metal lying in the rock, and you know this is what you were sent here for. Let's her to return. Go to the obsidian. Did not form naturally. Creatures made of pure light, called rites, form these structures out of hot, flowing magma. There is a super cool. The rites were trying to get at something or someone. You see a pair of figures at the top of the small flying platform. One of them holds a copper sphere that glows with golden light. The other rites tried to trap them here with their walls, but okay. Another event occurred here. The fire rites have killed many people over years, even thousands of years. These deaths accumulated into creatures suffering called the Gromon, a creature of pure rage. The Gromon has since wandered these volcanic fields with an insatiable lust for revenge, mostly against the rites created. Go to the mountain part. Oh, I'm gonna be going around him. Yeah. You are in a place called the Esophagan and have lived, and many have lived and died here, though it seems a terrible place to live. Scavengers from Saga's Cliff have been through here in recent centuries seeking treasures of the past. Before that, it was mutants fleeing revolution after the bloody revolution in a place called Harath. Before that, refugees from a village called Chinook. Before that, the Esophagus were themselves. You see a glimmer of power of a powerful artifact. Hundreds of years ago, there was a battle here. Many died. 2 people, a middle-aged woman and a teenage girl, fought over a copper sphere at the top of the glowing bone tower. Climb the tower to the transport. Only place I haven't been yet. You are at the top of the broken tower, jagged. From here you can see the fields and the spine below. Obsidian formations. Floating next to the tower is a hovering pod made of zero. Enter the transport. You step aboard the transport and it does not appear to have been made with adult humans in mind. There is only room enough for you to lay there, and even then you have to roll on your side and bend your knees slightly. As soon as you have done so, the ramp recedes and the doorway disappears. Your stomach lurches as the transport takes you to the sky. At first you try to peer out of the tiny portals, but all you see is pitch black, presumably the volcanic black clouds. Eventually you are replaced by the black of a starry sky. You see the land below, but it is impossible to cramp in cramped space. Hours pass and you finally transport flying slows. It hums and ceases. You step out of the transport, stretching painfully. You are in a strange cavern. Artifacts are strewn everywhere in various stages of repair and experimentation. One wall is covered by a network of displays showing people and scenes that mean nothing to you. In the center of the room is an enormous cage made from steel tendrils and twisted together at the top. The cage glows for a moment and a figure walks out. He's wearing a thick cloak, but his face is most strange. It shifts and blurs, changing features constantly. You get the impression you are seeing a person, but you can't define what that person looks like. His name comes to your mind immediately, Chimera. Took you long enough. Chimera's voice metallic and artificial, shifting as often as the features of his face. His expression slides and change, but all of them are frowning as he reaches forward and takes the sphere from you. With your Nicus, I thought finding a dead relic would be easier. The Chimera sets the Brumilion on the nearby table with a clunk. He immediately picks up a variety of scanning tools, one after another, probing the Aurelian and its secrets. He seems to have forgotten about you. You look around the cavern, but there are no entrances or exits nowhere. This Mazov could be except for the cage. Examine the cage. You take 2 steps towards the cage, but the moment you reach your hand forward, Cameron stops you with a bark. What do you think you're doing? Your mission is complete. You have no purpose for you to hear. Mazov, the Chimera, altering voice slips from the baritone tone to falsetto in a rapid series of notes. A dozen of different eyes narrow with suspicion. I'm not sure that Tinkerer could tell you anything useful, but I can think of no reason to deny it. The Chimera turns and slides a hand along one of the metal tendrils. Although no discerning interface appears, he presses 2 fingers against the metal twice and the cage begins to blow. The Chimera turns his attention back to the sphere, indicating you should enter the cage with a dismissive way. Yes, found him. Oh, this is going to be a long episode, I feel. 2 of the metal tendrils become a kind of a doorway, and on the side Mazza squats on some sandy alien shore. Stars twinkle in the sky behind him, but there are no stars you recognize. He picks up his head as though he heard something, and then he turns around to face you. One of his eye sockets is artificial, alternately projecting a human eye, a snake eye, and something even more alien. In the time he looked you over, he looks like a shipwreck survivor, bare-chested, rugged pants, rugged beard. If so, he's better fed than you expected. Zaran, he says, his human eye squints in the light. What the hells do you want? He peers forward as though trying to see into the cavern. Where are you? He spreads his arms in a mocking welcome. I am on the goddamn beach having the time of my life. Where it looks like I am. He crosses his arms across his chest. What the hells did you want? He puts his hand on her chin, all anger and suspicion gone in the face of puzzle. Well, it ain't that hard if you know the basics. The chamber crystal, yeah? Chamber's crystal, so it's grown, not built. So long as the chamber's core is intact, it should know how to grow itself. You just need a catalyst. He trails up and looks anew. Why do you want to know this? The resonance chamber is only good for he gives an angry out. Who sent you? Why are you after this? Yeah, I'm trying to stop. Marks the shelf with it. I doubt it would stop the sorrow. And a great many other things. I don't know how, but the changing god's trying to use you. If that chamber's fixed, nobody benefits but him. You can't trust the damn world to bust it. Well, if that's true, then it's someone else who only has the size. The rest of the chamber only good for one thing. He held up feet. And that is snuffing us out. The changing god plans to use it to merge all of us, every castoff that still lives, back into his body. That's his plan for stopping the sorrow. He puts a grease-stained hand on your shoulder. Look, I don't know who you are or what part of this is, but you cannot let him activate that chamber. He glances over your shoulder at something in the cavern. Though when you turn you see nothing. The first is alive, he whispers, drawing your attention back to him. And she's got her own plan for that chamber. One that won't kill us all. Ooh, that's interesting. Asaya has a new castoff body that he plans to use as a catalyst for the chamber, but the first has better plans. Something that won't snuff out every last one of us. Look, for her in the bloom. Just make sure you don't. Before he can finish, you feel a retching twist in the center of your body, like your heart is being wrung dry. Your vision tunnels black, and you feel as though your body has been struck through a steel pipe. You begin to pull out of the mirror, but it is far more painful than ever before. Then matters off the cave, and everything disappears. I think I just died. The Spectre. You plant your hand on the icy floor and push, staggering up to your feet. Every inch of your body aches, as though you have been crushed in a massive hand. The Spectre stands before you, passive. It may be your imagination, but he seems more solid than before. The phantom tendrils, coil around your forehead, cool and soothing. You find yourself staring at your hand, solid, real hand, across from you. The Spectre is still transparent. The tendrils tighten once, as if confirming or warning. Then the sensation is gone. You are alone here with the Spectre once more. He is awaiting you for the... Yeah. Your words tremble in the air and fall apart like 100 dust, and at this time you are certain the Spectre is less transparent than a secondary. I understand why you might see things that way, he calmly. You barely hear him through the pain. I have something I have been meaning to tell you. See, I haven't been completely honest with you. I'm not part of you. You are part of me. I created you. I am the changing god. Oh, God. You said you were four, and I couldn't read you because you were most things in here. Yeah, number 2. Of course, he simply. His outline solidified. You didn't think I lived for so long without learning to lie, did you? Even from mind readers. Now, I know this is a lot to take in. It means this body of yours is actually mine, and I've lived in it for years. And now that we know the first is still alive, I need it back. No! I knew you said that, but let's get this straight. I live in this body, I made it for a purpose, and now you say your wisp of life outweighs the many centuries experience? Or maybe you think my first castoff has a better way, Some magical solution to outlive your false existence without price. I promise you, she has no such thing. She has always and only killed to get what she wants. Her self-interest is just as strong as yours and mine. The only difference between the three of us is that I am real. You wouldn't exist if it weren't for me. You don't exist apart from me. Everything you are is a byproduct of my skills, my intellect, my experience, and now that I have a chance to stop the sorrow, to save us all, you refuse me? Who the hells are you? The new owner. It was never yours to take, the spectre says, grimacing. Now let me tell you what you are. You are an accident of fate, a parasite in the mind I built. You are a child. I don't want to destroy you, but if I must, I give me control. No, I don't like you. Then I'll take it. The tidal energies pour from the air around you, flowing into the spectre. The ground itself splits at your feet, holding you in place. You feel your grip on your body, your mind slipping by fingerless. You are diminished. He is winning. You search your mind, your hard-earned memories for something that will loosen the grip. Yeah, shut it. You close your eyes for a moment. A blissful fleeting second, you feel the pressure of the spectre's mind and there's a storm lashing on the outside. You think back, fitting through the choices you have made since you were born midair, and realize two things. They are the right choices at the time, and none of them will help you here and now. And with that, the spectre's mind rips through your defenses again. We don't need to fight. We aren't fighting, the spectre says in a level of voice. An argument requires two people, at best. You're a muscle cramp, a headache. You will be subsided. Pull. You stagger against the ground as it creeps up your leg with your friends. I'm gonna rip you out of my mind. You won't live that long. In another few minutes, your mind will be a tatters of wisps of fading air. Yeah. Groaning, you strain your face, but no place to. Title search. Yep. The spectre's eyes widen as you straighten, gather up the threads of the tides in your hand. You raise them before you. Don't, the spectre growls, but you ignore him, wrenching the threads apart. Agony explodes in your mind, lashing through your body, damaging essential parts of you, and the spectre as well. The blue tides. With a sudden gasp, he stumbles back, fading in and out of visibility. The pressure on your mind dwindles, and then, fine, he says, eyeing you with cold contempt. If you are so intent on stopping the sorrow on your own, have it. At it. Let's see how well you handle this when in store without my help, my guidance. Then he fades completely, but speaks again. His voice is coming from all around you, from every corner of your mind. He's not gone, but only hidden himself in your mind. I wasted my time trying to reach you. That won't happen again. Ugh, fun! I hope I made the right choice. I'm just stubborn, but... Can I save it? As the port closes behind you, you feel something is off. It only takes you a second to realize the spectre is gone. It's quiet now in the calm of your mind, but he's not truly gone, is he? You can still feel him out there watching, waiting, perhaps for a moment of weakness in which to strike. And with that, I'm going to leave it there for today. This is Daycarn, signing off. Bye!